For informational purposes only, please make your own decision whether or not to complain to organizations in connection to AMC's alleged heist of the century expectation of Aaron supporters in the comment section.
Hi everybody. I wanted to go over a few things if you don't mind. And I know everybody has to do their own thing as far as with their personal situations. And I know I'm going to do what I can. I know it's a pain in the butt to do a lot of things that are uncomfortable for us because and I'm not accusing anybody. I'm just saying in general, like for me, I hate to have to fill out paperwork. I mean, the police, that's one of the one things that they hate to do. But it's so wide-ranging. Securities fraud is such a wide-ranging issue that you are literally given a lot of options. And I'm of the mindset that there are probably a lot of people that already filed against Adam Aaron, for sure, in my belief. But you do notice that sometimes the DOJ, the SEC, and the other, they call them alphabet organizations, but I just use their full name. They usually go after the small potatoes, and they get the small fines, things like that. Well, no, the big ones get the small fines, but the small guys usually get the brunt of the worst part of it. So I think we do have those type of people on Twitter or X, YouTube, in general. They're around, and you probably know them, and you probably know that they violated the U.S. code. But it also goes down to probably even town, city, county, and state. So for each state, there are places you could go to if you happen to know the state of where one of these influencers may have resided. And I'm trying to primarily stick to the reverse stock split influencers, the pump and dump influencers from the beginning. I'm trying to make them all into one, the ones that committed all of those: pump and dump, squeeze, reverse stock split, etc. And everybody's got their own individual, probably, that they listen to, and kind of coincided with Adam Aaron's push for the reverse stock split. This might be a long video, but I'm just trying to help you. And you probably know where to go, but I'm just putting this out there for informational purposes only. Now I'm going to start off with the FBI. They have all kinds of different ones. You can report fraud through electronic tip. Cybercrime, I don't know if this extends to, like, say, bullying, things like that. This looks like it goes into data breaches, network intrusion, probably root attacks, stuff like bot farming. And then Internet Crime Complaint Center, you can do that. There's another one. Federal Bureau of Investigation, white collar crime. I don't know if the influencers fall under this category. Another important one is the FTC. You can report fraud through them, bad business practices, scams. So there's so many. Also, the consumer, there's got to be a consumer fraud network somewhere. I'll look that up towards the end if I remember. And then, let's see, Department of Justice. And I know some people are going to say, well, what's the point? But I mean, I don't think we as a community have really looked into or wanted to put any information out for the influencers that affected this whole thing. And they're running off scot-free. They're mocking people online for wanting to do something. You have their flying monkeys that show up out of nowhere and start trying to discourage you from exercising your rights. That's one of the one things that really, really pisses me off, because I'm not in front of those people. I almost lost my job because they were forcing the vaccine on me, and I totally refused to take it. So those people that are so cowardly and they want to take my rights away from me, I'd rather have them do that to my face than try to take it from me online and act like they're going to do something about it. It's just freaking silly. Anyway, I don't want to go off on a tirade. But yeah, so you can report fraud. They even have a section here where you could look for legal help. So that's also important as well. You can, like, say for me, if it was my state, I would go to scams and frauds, and you could put all your information here. I guess it only asked for so much. I don't know why. Okay. And then the SEC, you can go there. That's where initially the Zach Morris case had started through the SEC, I believe. I still haven't read the whole thing. And then they've got Ponzi schemes, pyramid schemes, high yield investments, manipulations in securities and price volume, insider trading. That's still yet to be determined. Misleading statements about a company, including false or misleading SEC reports or financial statements, failure to file, all these. It's just, it runs back and forth the whole yard. And then, say, for instance, maybe somebody happens to be living in Texas. You can file a complaint with them. You can do it by telephone or by writing, by form. And there's an interesting thing about Texas I'd like to show you here real quick. Let me pause this. General fraud. So this falls under anything, really. It is unlawful for a person in connection with the offer, sale, or purchase of a security, directly or indirectly, to employ a device, scheme, or artifice to defraud. This almost mirrors the U.S. Code word for word. Or make an untrue statement of a material fact, or to state a material fact necessary in order to make a statement made in light of the circumstances under which it is made, or not misleading, or engage in the act, practice, or course of business that operates or would operate as fraud or deceit upon another person. So this is general. That would cover it. Oh, then here's California. They have a securities unit. Corporate fraud unit, corporate fraud section. I wish they would have a place where you could automatically just put in your information, but I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm just showing you that it's there. So that has to be somewhere. Here's the contact information where you can contact them and complain. There's the office. Here's complaints, the complaints number for Minnesota. And say, for example, you have the UK. They have a national crime agency. It says fraud remains the most common crime type experienced by victims in England and Wales. Fraud costs the UK many billions of pounds every year. Threat from fraud, data breaches. That's freaking YouTube. Counterfeit and pirated goods, identity theft, our response to fraud, what you could do to help. It goes into all kinds of different stuff. So I would have to continue looking. But say, for example, somebody might live in the UK and you've experienced some type of fraud. There's complaints right here. So I believe it reaches over the Atlantic and you could still do something like that. So I hope this helps some people if they want any type of somebody to do something in general. I have to tell you something. And I know this may not resonate with everyone, but to me in my heart, this is what... Just give me a second, please. To me in my heart, this is what America's all about. It's us being citizens together. And for some reason, there's a huge wedge driven between all of us. That we somehow get angry at each other, fight each other online, treat each other horribly, and we don't even know what we look like, who we are, on the other side of the internet. Even in our cars, we do the same thing. I've said this before, and I remember when 9/11 happened, how everybody came together the day after all that took place. Now, we're lumped up into one group that is fighting each other. We're poor people. Maybe not so much as desolate as some other countries. Maybe not completely third world, as they call it, when some of them are actually very, very happy in the situations they are in, even though they are in some dire straits. We have a lot of luxuries that some people don't have. We also have lost sight of what this country really means and who it was made for. And now we've been lumped into two categories, and we fight each other. And the rich love this. They love that we're at each other's throats. They like to see us not unionized, and I don't mean that in the sense of work. I mean that in the sense of our country. Because if we work together, we can do a lot of things. There have been major movements in the past that have done the same thing. But this has nothing to do with color anymore. It's all economic. We're all lumped in together
and they want us as their slaves. And I'm not saying this literally like they're going to put chains on us, but who knows? You never know. They've done it in the past to other people. This is an opportunity to rise up and get your voice heard. Now, I'm not telling you to make complaints about anybody in particular, but we have a short time. We have a short time to say anything on this earth. I've told you before, I'm 52 years old. I've lived my life twice over, it feels like. I've done a lot. When in my early 30s, I didn't do that much, but I realized, man, my time is really, really short and I need to do something. And I've accomplished, I think, a lot in my short time. So I'm just asking you to think about everybody else and everybody else connected to this. Now, I've spoken to somebody that has already made a complaint and they got an answer right away. And they've already set up a meeting to talk to them, possibly a conference call with me as well. Now, what you have in your arsenal, think about it. You have almost, and I know I'm not done with all of Heist of the Century, but you almost have the whole story completed up until the RS in visual format right there. Now, this weekend, I'm going to complete the papers, the PDFs, that will reference the citations of where I got everything. If you need that, you can email me at ivtaculus@gmail.com as any type of supporting references or evidence. I will also include the links to the videos if I remember. I'm sorry, I'm getting old. I don't remember everything. But there is also Ethan's statement of facts. There is also the tweets. In fact, I think I should set up a drive for people if they want to access any of the tweets that any of these people have made that were misleading people. I think it's super important. And also think about the Project Popcorn aspect of it, AMC Project Popcorn. There are registered shareholders on there that I believe will stand by you, that will be there for you. Think about the collective that have made their voices heard in the objections of Chancery Court. There were so many of them. I believe it was like over 3,000. I'm not sure, 1,500 maybe, but it was overwhelming. The same thing like that occurs where there's people that actually care about us and that actually want to look into it. We may get a good response finally. We may get something going. And I'm sorry for the length of this video. I'm sorry for my diatribe, but you have everything at your fingertips. We worked hard. Ethan, Alex Holland, Jordan, Al from Boston, Bam. I don't want to take any credit. I did it. And I don't want to get sappy, but I did it out of love, completely. I know people can be a pain in the ass. I did it completely out of love for retail, for my fellow citizens. And I didn't ask for anything. The only thing, if you ever feel like it, send me a food cart or something, because I don't like going to fast food places because I think it's a pain in the butt to have to stop. You're coming home from work. Nah, forget it. I'll just eat something at home. That kind of thing. It just gives me an excuse to go. That's the truth. And all this time, you get called these names. You get treated like garbage. You get people hovering over you, telling you what you're doing. It's just, after a while, it gets ridiculous. So I make fun of it. I poke fun. Say, okay. Anyway, everybody, please, if you need that, you have this all available to you. Thank you, everybody. There's a few other things I wanted to say. One is that I personally believe that YouTube, X, Reddit, Discord, all these places are complicit in what happened because they don't monitor anything and they're letting it go unchecked, just like the SEC. It's almost like a free-for-all for scam right now. Nobody's doing anything about it. So hopefully maybe this will get them to finally start clamping down on people. I mean, you still have Thomas James running his mouth about a squeeze. For the last almost 4 years now, he's been doing that. It's absolutely silly. The other thing is this. Now, if anybody thinks that, hey, well, some of these influencers are also American citizens too, but look what they did to their own citizens. That's not what we should be doing to each other at all. And I hope I didn't leave anybody out. I just thought about Mike the Marine and all that he had done in the past. He's still around, and I talk to him sometimes. He's probably tired of this as well and just wants to put it away. And what bothers me too is Bam and Al from Boston, how they got so maligned early on, and they were trying to warn people. Froggy Styles too. You know what's funny is they think that we're colluding on something, and what I get from Bam is jokes in my DMs, and Al sends me sermons. They completely have these people ass backwards. They're trying to paint a picture of somebody when it's not true about their character. That's just as bad. Anyway, everybody have a good rest of the day, evening, or afternoon, wherever you are. Thank you.